What sucks about being famous on YouTube? No.
And what's good about being famous?
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
I guess we can all introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Starting with this side, I'm Wooly. I am a part of Super Best Friends Play, and I'm the token black guy. Yeah!
That's why I hired him.
Yeah, oh, okay. So I'm Pat from the same group, Super Best Friends Play. And what? The token ginger? Are we going to do this?
The smallest member? I'm Matt, also from the same group, Super Best Friends Play, and I'm apparently the Leonardo/Cyclops of the group, which I take great offense of.
Yeah, good job.
I'm Liam from Super Best Friends Play, and I am, I guess, the youngest member. And
You're the baby!
Last edition. Am I a baby? I don't know, I'm 22 all year.
He's the cute one.
Thank you,
I'm Gaijin Goomba. I do a show called Game Exchange, Culture Shock with Matt, Pat, Ronnie, and Drake on the Game Theorists channel. That's about it for me.
Hi, I'm Joe.
Well said. Do we have a driver on this crazy bus?
I'm just gonna say it's probably gonna get a little PG-13 in here because we're gonna be talking about the good and
Oh, only PG-13.
Oh, never mind. No, if you want a straight R, I'm down. Let's do this.
So, Matt, you want to take it since you started our group?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, what, 4.5 years ago, I was like a nobody doing Q&A for IDOS. And I started making like little random YouTube things, like mashups of cartoon stuff. And that kind of snowballed. I got my friends involved, and we started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We have like almost 450,000 subscribers. And when you get to a certain level of popularity, you catch such a wide net of comments and different types of people that view your stuff. And if you're passionate about anything, like negative or positive, there'll always be like the opposite person that like hates that game or hates that movie or whatever. And you start to, as you get more popular, you start to see these comments that like, you know, it's like, oh, I don't agree with you, whatever. But then you'll see some really nasty things occasionally. Not too long ago, I made a Tumblr post about how I saw something about these two guys did like a video that was focused on them, and we saw a really, really nasty comment that I just straight up banned the person for. I'm not gonna, repeat or anything, but it was against us, like saying, oh, I'm glad these blanks aren't ruining this video. And I was like, how about I ruin your privileges to post on my videos, because this is way across the line. So when that type of thing happens, maybe on a personal standpoint, it's like, you just want to focus, like, after you see something like that, and I kind of thought about it. Like, I was just like, oh, God, that was just so, like, it just kept thinking, running through my head. And, like, this was maybe a week before ConBravo, and I was like, you know what? Just put it on my mind. I got ConBravo, and, like, 99.9% of the time, you meet someone in person that's always cordial. It's always someone that just wants to say hi, just wants to say something nice, and it does make you forget about like that negative part of gaining some sort of popularity on YouTube.
So I guess like con number one is negative feedback because our egos are fragile. We're all little babies.
Fragile. Please stroke them only.
Yeah.
You want to take a go at this?
I get called a chode every day.
Just every day?
Just every day? No, because, okay, so who is unfamiliar with what I do? Anyone? It's okay. Okay, so I teach multiculturalism through video games, but I do it through an animated character that is a Goomba, except it's got a little extended body, so everyone's like, man, you look like a dick. Literally. And after a while, I kind of let that one go, but there are days when it's like, get this, oh man, I can't even say it, but like get this effing gay Goomba off the Game Theorists channel, you're a freaking cancer, we want Matt Pat. Not that Matt, by the way. I know, right? I was like, hey, I'm going to be with Matt and Pat. And they're like, oh, dude, he's coming? I'm like, no. Sorry. But I get a lot of hate because I do things a lot different. I am not in front of a camera. I do not use my real voice. I do not use myself in front of a camera. That is nothing against you guys that do, because that's what you love to do. It's just when I did it that one time, It was kind of torture, and it's just not what I wanted to do. But since it's different, that's the other thing. If you guys are going to do something different, you're going to get even more resentment.
Yeah, yeah.
Joe, you got anything?
Oh wow.
No one hates him. No one.
Well, I've gone through many phases on YouTube and listening to trolls letting you get you down, ignoring trolls outright, not reading the comments, but then you don't read the good comments, back and forth and back and forth. But it is, I've come to an understanding now of people and psychology and what happens in their brains as they're sitting at their computer getting, entertained. And some people just like to, do these snap comments, and sometimes they don't really mean it. Sometimes they just, they're just interacting and they don't realize that they're affecting real people on the other end. So I just look at it now as an activity. It was odd because I walked in on my little brothers. I go to my mom's house and I hear laughing upstairs. I'm like, what are they doing? I said, oh, they're in Michael's office. So I go up to the office and they're snickering on the computer. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, hey, Joe. And he come here, check this out. And so I look over there and they're on fucking YouTube, like trolling people. And I'm like, what the hell? Seriously, guys? I was like, this is what you do for fun. And they at the time they were like 12, 13. And so I was like, you know what? This is just what people do sometimes now, and so I don't take any of the comments to heart anymore. I just listen to the positive ones, and I also listen to the criticisms, the one that actually have constructive criticisms.
Did you ever have one of those phases where you're like, I'm just not gonna read comments at all? I'm just gonna turn it all off?
No, I've never been a proponent of turning off comments completely, because sometimes. I mean, yeah, they can get really nasty, but it's more, I don't know, for me, it's more fascinating. Like, I've gotten into arguments with people on YouTube who their whole accounts was devoted to, reviewing reviewers, but being really mean-hearted about it and sometimes racist about it. And I remember one guy came over to my channel on, I think my Magica review, and was just, straight up arguing with me on my comments. I'm like, what is this guy? Because I'm, the nicest dude ever, and I don't know why he was attacking me. He's like, you're not a fucking real gamer. And then it occurred to me that what's really going on in their heads. He burst out of nowhere. He goes, you don't even really play video games. You're a fucking jock. And stuff like that. And I was like, I know you. You went to high school. And I was like, this guy doesn't know me. You know what I'm talking about? So it just revealed a certain piece of him that what happens is if you look a certain way or you sound a certain way or you say something that triggers somebody, that trigger forms a bomb in their head where they think you're a certain way, and you can't tell them anything, you're a certain way. And I'm like, I'm trying to be nice to him. And he's like, and he's getting more and more angry. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you're a fucking ape. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you need to calm down. Like, yeah, so I don't know. I think it's a mixture of people who don't take their meds on YouTube and who are off meds. So be careful with the way you interact with some people, because they might, you might say something and it might trigger something in them.
Well, conversely to that, where it's just someone's nuts opinion, it always sucks when you feel really passionate about something and you really speak, how you feel. And I know on our podcast we have some dissenting opinions go down, and I have some really dissenting opinions sometimes. And occasionally, and it always sucks when you say something where you're like, yeah, I believe this. This is my actual belief, and then people are just shit talk you and don't even want to, even have the discussion. And it's just like, no, you don't.
That's a new form of entertainment for them. That's entertaining for them. They don't really mean any of what they're saying. That's not their point. Their point is to get a reaction out of you and piss you off. So they're not listening to your logical arguments. They're just like, oh, fuck you, you suck. Your video sucked. I want to see this.
And it works, and it gets me so fucking.
You shouldn't let it. You'll get past that point eventually, where you're just making content, and you make the content for the people that do enjoy it, and you make the content for yourself. At that point, I sort of made content. Me and Joe, other Joe over here, we have fun making videos, and that's what we do it, and then we make it for the people that like it.
TV, 15 years ago, you didn't see comments beneath the show that you were watching, or scrolling by on the screen going oh, what the fuck, I can't believe this happened, or then spoilers, while you're watching it.
Do they have shows like that with a Twitter feed at the bottom where people, man, I don't watch TV anymore.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, here's the other thing too, and this is something that's gone through me. When I got started on the Game Theorists channel a year and a half ago when Matt picked me up, there were a lot of people outcrying about my voice. Because you guys know my work, that's probably one of the most controversial things that I do.
Yeah, do it.
No, I can't because I actually I speed shift it through a program.
No.
Unfortunately, otherwise I totally would. But there was a lot. I mean, overflowing hate. This is awful because I speed shift now, but before I pitch shift, which is a completely different effect if you know anything about audio editing. And so I had to sit down and actually read through this stuff because you'll get if I'm reminded by Youngtown's video of like getting YouTube famous, and it's like a parody of getting into the Krusty Krab from SpongeBob, and it was like it was a super negative comment that had like a bunch of swearing and stuff, and the announcer voice was like, "Hold on a second there, Billy," and then it just shifted to this like really well structured criticism. You sometimes have to look between the lines to see what people are actually trying to say. So there's a lot of people in this world that don't know how to talk to people, period. So it was through that. You have to find a good balance, especially when you're starting up, because I'm not that old. These guys have done this stuff a lot longer than I have. So from that perspective of doing this kind of fresh, you have to listen to criticism, but be very, very careful of two things. One, don't go insane. That's going to be easy to do, and you're going to want to stop doing your content. That's the last thing you're going to want to do. But the other thing is that if you constantly get one very specific complaint, at least think about it. Think about how you can make it better. Don't necessarily change it outright, but think about how you can make it better.
Yeah, it's important to know how to change without pandering, and that's something that you see little guys fuck up all the time. So definitely.
I was gonna say, since we're still talking about comments, on the flip side, it happens a lot when you get to a comment, but you occasionally receive messages that are the most heartfelt, you got me through a tough time.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, ones that make you cry.
You get the opposite, because we're talking pros and cons here. The pro version of the comment thing is that giant letter that's just heartfelt of someone that was in the hospital, they had nothing else to listen to or to do at the time, and it was just hell to deal with it, but they had something to kind of just keep their mind off the pain or something like that.
We met a man today that said he had a tumor removed in his brain in the hospital, and he was really sweet. We met him before too, and he let us know about this update about himself, and he's I just listened to your podcast, since we've done hours and hours of podcasting. I just did that, and that totally got me through it. And that's another thing, when every negative comment that's ever been in your head from anyone just disappears, just gone.
Exactly. From one of those.
It's like two chemicals that just one completely just beats the shit out of the other, and it's cool because those other chemicals were evil.
And I think I can honestly say, at least for myself, that right there is the biggest pro.
Yeah.
Of all entirely, is getting that type of
an unexpected pro, because you'll get them eventually. But when they first happen, you're like, whoa, I didn't know
I could be that much of a part of their life.
I didn't know dicking around in a video game could be that special or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, to be honest, if I can just interject really, really fast, because I'm sitting next to a guy that I kind of felt that way for, because I was in Japan for 2 years. One of my biggest problems was coming back home and just staying there and staying just online because I had no way of getting back home. And Joe, man, some of your videos, you kind of kept me going and keeping me into what's going on in the States and keeping me happy, because when everything's Japanese, you start to go crazy. I love doing this, and the pros far outweigh the cons to me. Some of you even know I had some flight troubles here. I spent a total of 16 hours at the airport and 2 hours driving over here just to hang out with you guys. So, and I did it for you guys because you re-energized me. I had to fly in and then do it and then fly out, but it always, meeting people and they come up with the smiles, it re-energizes you to continue to put out content. I know right now the people are screaming for my head back on my channel because I haven't done a review in 2 months, and they're like, who the fuck is the reviews? And that kind of stuff, but
you know, I've been doing this for 5 years and with 0 vacation. So everyone, and I'm actually not on vacation. I'm still putting out Let's Plays and stuff. And people still enjoy that type of content as well. So yeah, basically the pros far outweigh the cons for me. I'm doing something I love. People love me doing it, and it's just been fun and great.
No, for sure. Coming out to conventions where like fans are, it's eye-opening in that sense, and it fixes everything.
And trolls don't come here. Not really. Because like that's the thing. Like when it comes to stuff like social media and whatnot, trolls do not have enough patience and energy to contact. There are exceptions. There are exceptions. But most of the time, it's only in YouTube comments. Like you go to our Twitter and stuff. Very rarely will you find people be like, "You're stupid, I hate your crap, get off and go kill yourself," because they're just too lazy to do it anywhere else.
And like sometimes you come across like the trolling and stuff in other forums where, you know, like, oh, there's a 4chan discussion thread about you.
Yeah, that was rough. I browsed V every day for like 6 years, and then when 4chan threads started coming up bashing me, I was like, no, this is my zone. Like, I like this. I can't be here anymore.
But the thing about that, I think, is that it's still different because that's like people in a different area discussing almost amongst themselves.
Well, there's a different tone too.
Yeah, you know, like you're not in the room, we're going to talk about it type of thing, versus on the video, direct to you, this is why you're shit, you know, type of thing.
So I'd like to say that, first of all, Joe, I completely agree with you. The pros dramatically outweigh the cons. And there's the social aspect that we've been discussing in terms of like getting a letter from somebody that you seem to make a positive difference with through actions that were not intended to make that positive difference. When I made a video, I didn't expect to help somebody go through a battle with cancer. I expected to be a dick on a video and maybe get some laughs. And that has been phenomenal. In addition, me personally, and to a lesser extent you guys, where I was in my life prior to starting this video business was, like, it was dire. I was incredibly in debt. I had no future. I had no career. I had no path forward. And it allowed me to just drag myself out, and now I'm out of just a future of nothing. And I'm getting people saying, like, you helped me, it's amazing. So the intensity of all this good stuff is dramatically outweighing the cons. But like Wooly and Liam, you've pointed out, some of those negatives are so shockingly negative that like it's your personal tolerance. Like, Joe, you seem to have an extremely high tolerance. I don't know if you built that up or you started with a higher tolerance than most people.
You know, I expected to get a lot more blowback than I did, but see, I started, I think, in maybe I would call it second wave or something. You know, because I love this field, man. It's like a new generation, it's new media. The barrier to entry is rather low, but your channel doesn't explode unless you have a certain amount of talent and you grip people. And you get and I love it. I don't even watch TV anymore. Like, I still pay like $60 a month for like TV. I never fucking watch it. I'm always on the internet.
In our hotel room, we're like, TV!
Last night, what is this? We are new idiots.
We were just sitting there watching commercials last night.
We're laughing at
Especially honestly, the gaming industry, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's bigger than movies, and I'm just so thankful and grateful to be a part of it. So what I was saying before is I consider like first wave like my inspirations, like angry video game nerd.
Absolutely.
And without angry video game nerd, let's give them a hand. How to create shows and how to just do some fun, and so like I came in with second wave, and because my name was Angry Joe, I was really concerned. A lot of people were like, you fucking angry nerd ripoff, you know, or something like that. And I know a lot of people, other people got that, but I was really surprised when I didn't get a lot of that. There was a few stuff, you know, but I didn't really get a lot of that. So I was very, very thankful to the fans that they saw that the content was different. It's not the exact same format as everybody else. And so they picked up on that, and so I didn't get a lot of hate. I expected to get more. It's a half thick or sin. I was preparing for you, putting on that flame shield, but I didn't really.
So the thing that really got me is not the amount. It's not the amount of comments. It's not the amount of negative, like you suck, you're a piece of shit, that kind of thing. What shocked me was the level of how do I put this? Let me give you an example. So I hear shit comments from this all the time, and most of it just rolls right off, right? But when you end up in 4chan and people have pictures of you or your girlfriend and have acquired through you don't know how, or DM when you went on to V and people were talking shit about you, and then pictures of your little sister just appear,
That was
that
like
level
way over the
of
line.
like creepy ass vitriol is shocking to me. And I was ready to take anything of people just coming right at me, but I was never prepared for like just in-depth like invasions of privacy.
But if someone put work
into
that, like,
level,
I'm going to troll you and I'm going to like get a detective to get stuff on you. It's like, dude, why did they come to our concert to boo us?
Right,
Exactly. That type of thing.
I think though, like, to sort of, I guess, look at another thing in terms of like cons though from a completely different angle. On the professional side of things, one of the cons that comes up a lot as well is with games, copyright notices, companies like, you know, coming along and basically trying to stop you from putting out your content, you know? And it's like, it's a whole other side of things where it's like, you've got us in the middle, you've got comments coming from one side, but then on the other side of professionalism, you try to just put a game out there and make commentary on the game, and then systems like YouTube's where it doesn't matter what the context is, this like channel sweeping mechanic on YouTube is going to just flag your video automatically, you don't get a say in the matter type of thing. That's a huge con as well.
Oh, I have a lot of experience.
I know you do.
So when that YouTube stuff was going down, and you were my go-to example of like, look at Joe. Joe does good work. He's getting fucked.
And
I just wanted you a softball.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, they had their different classifications. You know, managed and affiliate. You know, and I chose to stay affiliate, not managed, because I knew that I had a larger channel and that they would listen to me. And so, you know, I'm still affiliate. I still have like 4 or 5 claims to deal with and stuff, but it's mainly getting better, and I've done my best to find contacts at YouTube and actually talk with them and sit down, and it's amazing to me because I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say, but and there's you know, there's just outside forces that don't understand what we're doing, and they're fucking moronic. They really are. Because it's proven fact that when you do Let's Plays or a big channel does, oh, let's do this. Let's do that. Okay. So, what was I saying? So it's a proven fact that when you know, Let's Players do it and they enjoy your video, they want to check the game out, they then buy the video. So it helps them. But it's a battle between old guard and new guard. You got your old guard, the MBAA and the RIAA and that kind of stuff, putting pressure on YouTube. And a lot of people at YouTube understand and they want to be on your side, but then the suits and the bosses don't. And so there's this internal struggle. And I feel like we are in a transition phase. We're totally in a transition phase. You know, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, the companies are going to understand the value that we bring. You know, but you still have old holdouts that just don't understand, like Nintendo or these types of companies. So they really need to realize the benefit that sometimes we bring.
It'll get better. Yeah, you know that. We all know that.
Well, I mean, at the moment, like, the indies are all over us. Like, I've been working on stuff specifically because they're like, hey, here's 3 copies of our game. Do everything you want. Here's all the art assets you would ever need. And we'll be sure to retweet, like, and everything else. So I'm like, I'm just gonna focus on you guys as much as I can, because
indies are exploding and they deserve it because they are the ones that they do hard work. They don't deal with the corporate bullshit. They come up to you and hand out these because in fact I got some to hand out to you guys later. You know, free codes. They just want people to play their games and feel their passion.
But the thing is, and what's even like more frustrating sometimes is when it's not even that the company that you're dealing with, or the company of the game, that the company that made your game is the one that's out to stop you in that instance. In some cases, it's like we had a Beyond Two Souls thing where like footage from this game was apparently copyrighted by a British like tabloid magazine, and it was like because they did an interview with the director of the game, and so like that clip of footage belonged to them. So this is a strike against your channel, not from the game maker, but from some magazine. You know, or like Persona belonging to
that Russian actress or whatever.
And it makes no sense in those cases. And like you have Jonathan Blow going on Twitter saying like, I just got flagged for my own game. You know,
that happened.
Yeah. So it's kind of embarrassing in some ways where, you know, like the system is not even the company themselves being ignorant, but like the system just being bad at that point. You know.
But you know what's kind of a good. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna shift this. So I was gonna say, you know what's a really good thing?
I was gonna shift it too. So
Yeah, what's great, man?
Go ahead.
Fan-created content.
I
You know what the
was
weird
gonna
thing?
say
You know what the
that.
weird thing is
Right.
though? With you guys, because I just got done explaining who the Gecko Ninja is. He's my artist that does all of my character designs. He's working on background designs and stuff. He was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Two Best Sisters Play?" And I'm like, "That sounds stupid." He's like,
Boy,
"Watch
does it
it."
sound stupid.
No. 'Cause I thought it was just gonna be more Equestria bait. And I looked at it, I watched it, and I'm like, this is actually really funny. and so I was like, oh wait, this is just a fan-made thing of something bigger. And I've got, I mean, since I work in characters, there's fan art all over the place. I've got a fairly big DeviantArt presence, and it just, that's the extra stuff. When people work their asses off, don't make a dime for doing it, they do it because they love you, best feeling in the world.
Well, like I was gonna say, yeah, like the communities on Tumblr, the communities on Reddit, like they're doing a better job than we could at moderating that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
The Reddit guys work so hard on that, and all the fan art coming in, like you're absolutely right. It's so
Like,
rewarding in that sense.
At this con, we came across the first time we've been in like the artist section, and people were selling a print of us. And we were like, this is the coolest thing ever. And we bought, all four of us bought it, and then the girl sold out of all of them. And then people at our autograph session was coming up for us to sign
The print.
that, and we're just, oh my, it's so cool. Like,
But if I were wearing a suit, I'd want that place shut the fuck down.
Exactly.
yeah.
You know, I think when you see like specifically like there's some artists that are so incredibly professional. Like one of our animators, like Two Snacks, he's so good at his job that we look at it and just kind of go like, dude, you're better than us at what you do. It's insane that like you're doing fan art, and we just kind of like hire that person to do stuff, you know.
Yeah, and
the
he still does fan art.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and so like these fan works and things like that become a part of your brand, a part of your identity, a part of everything you do. And like the little cartoon versions of us that we use everywhere just came from a fan, you know?
No, it's absolutely amazing. Just a slightly different subject. I noticed this guy with a question.
Yeah.
Do we want to wait till like 9:40 and just do questions for the last 20 minutes?
Well, it's the
or-
one guy with his hand up.
Well, there's probably another
Here's a
guy.
quick question.
Well, let's take a quick question.
Okay. Going to the flagging and the copyright thing, that's one thing that's always kind of confusing. Maybe you can clarify. Like Joe, for example, like your stuff is clearly, like it's critiqued, so it's clearly protected by second use, as far as I know. So
Yes,
what,
it should be, yeah.
why? So that's what I don't understand. Why do these people think that they have a right here to
I don't know. It was a difficult situation. I mean, in one of my Skyrim videos, I used like 12 seconds of like a music clip, but it was even edited. And so they put a claim on my video, and it's like, well, what about the other 29 minutes and 37 seconds and stuff? And plus, I had remixed it and constituting it as a new work or critique. I don't know what it is. It's misunderstanding. And going back to it is, there's examples of the very same company saying, hey, Joe, we want you to go out and see the screener for Edge of Tomorrow. This actually happened. So they gave me a press pass to go see Edge of Tomorrow. I went to see it, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty badass movie. It's like a mixture of Groundhog Day and Starship Troopers. I fucking love those movies. I'm going to tell people to go see it. And my movie reviews are horrible. They're just terrible. But I did one, right? And I was like, go see this movie. And then fucking WB flags it. I'm like, what the fuck? You guys sent me out to goddamn spread the word. And it's the thing with JonTron, did a video for Valiant Hearts for Ubisoft, and then Ubisoft flagged his video. It's like, what the fuck is happening? So it's basically, I think at these companies there's lots of dead weight that don't understand. So one hand is like, yeah, these guys, we understand them. They're like new wave coming into these jobs at these companies saying, these guys can spread the word, they can help our company, and then you got the old guard that's like, you can't. We need to put piece of this pie, this YouTube pie.
If I'm not mistaken, a lot of the flags are automated too, where they'll like copyright or they'll select certain videos and like it'll just run algorithms on your videos and be like, yo, this totally overlaps perfectly this audio clip.
That being said, Joe, you're totally right, and I hope that it continues down that path. But I think there's a much more cynical answer to that, and it's because they can right now.
Oh yeah.
Fair use has not been tested in court. Fair dealing, the Canadian equivalent, has not been tested in court.
Yeah.
And currently, because of the Viacom lawsuit against YouTube, like YouTube is forced to proactively scrub shit so that they don't get in trouble.
I think it's bullshit, and I've talked to YouTube about this before, that it's like the companies have no repercussions to
just reject your claim or your dispute. So they claim your content. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You hit dispute and then you write this big long email. This is fair use, and sometimes you include, look, I have written permission. This is written permission, and whoever's on the other end, be it automated, which is not supposed to be an automated system, but I don't know. Sometimes it seems like it is. They just reject your dispute because they're like, fuck it, come at us, bro. We have better lawyers than you. You're just one guy. We're a multi-million-dollar corporation. Come at us. And so I think that system needs to be more fair between content producers who created YouTube, who made YouTube successful into the multi-billion-dollar company it is now, and the old guard and some of the other companies.
So, sorry,
I was going to say quickly, I ran into a situation where I had this old cartoon that was based on Street Fighter from the 1995, 1996, and the company that ran it closed down and then everything, and I wanted to do little cartoon mashups of it, and I asked Capcom USA, is this cool? Here's an example of what it is, and the guy goes, this is fucking hilarious, this is the best thing ever. I'm going to run it by legal, and legal will run it by legal, and legal will tell me if legal says that that's okay. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, everyone says it's cool, it's fine, you can do it, totally cool, but Japan's not going to let you. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, Capcom Japan, they don't understand why this is even good, and they might flag it. And I go, then what? Can you tell them? You got to speak Japanese?
Dude, they don't get it. I can tell you that's a primary source. They don't get it jack.
And then I got a copyright strike on it, and then Capcom USA was able to strike that back down, and then it just becomes a huge mess sometimes. And it's between the company, the company that's letting you do it is also not letting you do it.
Let me ask you a quick question between you guys. Have you ever gotten hit by Sony really hard?
No.
Sony Music Group. The music guys are a lot more aggressive and fuckers than the video game guys.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the reason I ask is because I've been doing some research about the relationship between the Japanese companies and the everywhere else companies. And so it turns out that Nintendo of America doesn't really have too much control over what they can and can't do. Right. And since Nintendo of Japan is such an ancient dinosaur when it comes to policies, Nintendo of America can't help us, because they don't have any control over what goes on. Because the Home Office can say, no, this needs to be this way. Sony doesn't do that. I've talked to a couple people from Sony trying to get in with Sony, and apparently the Home Office in Japan of Sony, or rather the other departments, whether it be Europe, the Americas, whatever, they can act and make decisions independently. That's why I was curious, because if Sony's never hit you, that just further proves to me that that's messed up.
Sony seems to be one of the few guys who have their heads on pretty damn straight these days.
So to bring it back a little closer around to the supposed topic, I mean, what's the pro? We get to ride the wave of a new form of media, wherever that happens to take us. What's the con? The old media fucking hates us.
The old media is terrified of us.
And the old media is wearing suits, works in offices, and has a ton of cash at their disposal to ruin my day.
And you can see that, and you see it happen more and more. At one point, I was in a Twitter fight with IGN over Titanfall. It was the weirdest thing ever. It's like I'm a one-man show, right? And then IGN's a multi-million-dollar corporation.
What was it they called you, irresponsible?
No, I don't know. I was so confused by it because, the guy said that I claimed that IGN gave the game a 9, and I was like,
8.9.
Right, it was like, no, it didn't. It's an 8.9. I was like,
the hype,
8.9 versus 9. Yeah. So I was like, what the fuck? They're arguing with me over one point, and we were getting angry, at each other, he was saying mean things to me. It's like, how many people watch the Angry Joe show? And I was like,
a lot.
And then some fan of mine actually put the Titanfall review at 1.3 million or something like that, 1 million. And then the IGN review on YouTube at 600,000 or something like that. So he couldn't shut up over that. And it's just weird that IGN would, and it's, I'm not saying IGN is a corporation, but he obviously could be acting on his own, but it just seems like it's a systematic thing where old media is like, okay, these guys now are possibly threatening us, and a lot of people are going to YouTubers to get what they feel is a more personal connection, more trust with the YouTubers than, a multi-million-dollar corporation that throw up the ads on the side and stuff like that.
When you find a YouTuber you like and whose tastes overlap, and then you're good. Whereas all the reviewing companies, you never know.
Yeah,
you just never know.
Well, one of the things that's changing, because because of the way that I do my content, I don't use video game footage almost ever, because I'm still not networked with anyone, and that's just scary and for another time. But I tell you guys, Patreon. If you guys have ever thought about putting one together, that is going to cause YouTube some trouble down the line. Because like right now, if YouTube shut me down, I could still be financially okay because I've got that system set up. And for those of you, right now, and this is not to brag or anything, it's just to give you guys perspective and you guys perspective too if you're interested.
Well, what I was actually getting ready to say was like, there's a pro on the flip side where YouTube helps you build an audience. You get a lot of people that know who you are, they follow you, and we just launched a website that has nothing to do with YouTube. And we put all our videos up there, and they're hosted completely separately. We don't have to deal with any of the hassle or bullshit we just talked about for the last 15 minutes on the website.
Exactly.
So that's a huge, giant pro. And like people that know who we are and know how to find us will find us on the website.
Yeah, like right now, as far as American dollars is concerned, I get roughly $1,500 a month, which since I live in the armpit of Arkansas, that's actually pretty good. So if there's alternatives, granted there's a lot of pitfalls with Patreon, I'll just go ahead and say that. It's not the company, it's just how you have to manage it and how you have to manage the people that are donating to you. But the cool thing though is that, like you guys are saying, stuff's changing and other companies are understanding that and they're kind of giving us the hookup when it comes to that. It's still experimental, but that's a huge pro. This BS that YouTube keeps throwing at us, it ain't going to last much longer. It won't be able to afford to in time.
Yeah, Let's Playing is like the hugest thing, one of the hugest things on YouTube. Back when we were looking at like how Smosh and PewDiePie were like #1 and #2 in terms of like subs and stuff, it's insane because they you put out this much content daily, like half an hour or so much more compared to other very popular channels that put out like a really popular video, but it's 3 minutes long. It's something where like video games are such an important part of YouTube at this point that they've got to confront it.
Well, let's not talk about Smosh and PewDiePie.
Sure.
PewDiePie is a really nice dude.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I feel like I met him in person, and he's a really nice guy. And I know the guy gets a lot of shit because he's the most popular. But when somebody comes up to me and they're that genuine, and I know that they're being genuine, it makes me sad sometimes that the guy gets shit just because he's like, I'm PewDiePie, and then some guys are like, man, fuck that dude, he's got metal.
He earned it, he absolutely earned it.
Yeah, he's a really nice to his fans. But I was about to say, I've had some experience with, not using YouTube because I was with that guy with the glasses, which is a badass website, by the way. Time, and the reason why it worked though is because we already had an install base there. A bunch of reviewers got together and they were really good, and so people knew where to go with that guy with glasses in the video. But if you're just starting out, YouTube is the way to go, I feel. I don't have a lot of experience with Patreon, and the whole asking people for even more money on top of because I just started Twitch and I would feel so uncomfortable asking for even more or something like that, even though Twitch is only like $5 and then you have to split it like 50-50, I'm not sure if I can say that, but anyway, so it's hard for me to ask for money. I've always actually really kind of been uncomfortable with merchandising and stuff like that, and even the name of this panel, YouTube fame. I don't consider myself famous. I want y'all to feel I'm not.
It's kind of uncomfortable to consider yourself famous.
I'm not. No, we're not famous. We're not.
It's this weird new pseudo fame.
We're fans of the word shit tier e-celebs. Yeah, that's how we describe ourselves all the time.
Yeah, but no, that's great that the Patreon is working out for you. And there's a few other creators that have been telling me about, Joe, you got to get into it. It's just I've been feeling really awkward because I don't want to. Because then you got the trolls being like, oh man, you're fucking e-bagging and this and that. And it's like, but at the same time, don't let trolls dictate what decisions you're going to make with your own show. You're your greatest marketer, so you have to do what you have to do in order for your show to survive and the people that do enjoy it. Because that's proof that people enjoy your show.
Yes.
And I think the reason why my Twitch exploded was because I never asked for a subscription on YouTube because that's not how it works there. But when I do the Twitch, we got like an explosion of subscribers because they're like, Joe, I've been watching you for like 5 years, and yeah, man, I'll kick you $5, and even though I only get like $2.50, but it's like, yeah, I have a Dr. Pepper man on me or something like that. So I thought it was really cool. But I'll have to talk to you more about Patreon later. But
so someone just asked, what is Patreon? And we should probably explain
this. It's basically Kickstarter for ongoing projects. What you do is you set up tiers. Each tier, okay, so for mine, for example, my first $1 tier is a Patreon-only stream, which means I can do stuff like give people some some information so we can like play games together. I can do Q&As and such with that. There's another tier where it's like since I work with a character, I'll do a character voice of like a line or two that's custom that someone wants. There's another one where I do a think tank where it's like if you guys got some cool ideas about culture and gaming, and I've gotten a lot of really good ideas. That's like the $30 tier, and then the $70 tier. And I will give people an hour of one-on-one. And the problems that come with that is, one, yes, people will accuse you of e-begging, but you can put that right out of your head because you're giving back to them. You're giving back a resource that is basically replacing the finance that you need to live. And it's just like, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Time is the most important asset to us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like when people, I've actually had someone come up to me in public and say, "How dare you charge these people $70 to spend 1 hour with you?" And on the surface, that's a really good point. But here's the other thing: we all work for ourselves. We don't go in, we don't punch in at 9 and leave at 5 and go home with a paycheck and knowing that everything's going to be fine. We actually have to discipline ourselves to get up, get editing, do all this other stuff that we need to do. And comparatively, you guys do a lot more than I do. And that takes a great amount of discipline that not a lot of people have.
It's weird to explain because it sounds super entitled, but it's super accurate. You wake up at 8 and you're like, I'll start at 10, start at 12, I'll start at, and you start at 3 in the morning.
What right do people have? What right do people have to tell other people how to spend their money? Like, I just started on Twitch, and I know there's like a soda pop in, or there's a lot of popular people on there that like get like $50,000 donations from like rich Saudi people or something like that. They just really enjoy their videos and they got money to burn, and it's like you're like super jealous. You're like, holy fuck, really? That guy he made that guy laugh, and boom, a rich prince. You're like, oh shit, I want to hang out with that guy, right? But no,
it actually happened.
Yeah, no, I know it actually happened, and so it's like you don't have a right to tell other people how to spend their money. If you're personally offended by somebody getting that donation, fuck off, dude. That's not your money. If you don't want to donate to that person, don't fucking donate to that person, So, a lot of people were surprised by that donation, but I said, hey, more power to them,
Kind of an awesome pro and a weird con, speaking about what you said earlier, when you opened up a Twitch and people said, oh, I can finally give money to this guy. We had a lot of people saying, hey, can we send you a letter? Where can we send you a letter? Can you do that?
Oh, yeah.
And so we started a thing called Mailbag. And on our first week, we received 12 letters and packages.
Maybe, I think it was 13.
13 cumulatively. And we did this, we had 13 episodes, and by the last one, we had episodes with easily over 100.
Well,
it was taking 6 hours to film.
13 episodes, but 13 part A, part B, part C.
Oh yeah, and they had to start getting split because they started taking so long to film. And so it was an amazing pro.
It was this wonderful pro where you got this feeling of like, we were talking earlier about like people trolling you and the good that people sent in. And now you were getting this like you get this incredibly thoughtful letter that was like, there's something different about the physical letter. Along with just lavish gifts, and you're like, holy shit, people,
swords, axes.
People really love us. And then you get the con of like, I can't deal with this. There are literal physical limitations on my ability to do this.
Well, it's like the world. Like when it comes to TV fame only can go so far. Because we work through the internet, the entire world is our audience. I had this dude. He's in Kuwait, named Muhammad. He's one of my biggest backers, like financially, and like, it was one.
Oh, you actually have a ritual.
Yes, that's what I was saying. When I said it happened to me. But no, he's not like a prince or anything. But he's super cool. Because of Assassin's Creed Revelations, I think, and because Ubisoft opened up in Abu Dhabi, gaming is starting to really explode in the Middle East. And he's like, can you help me find like old cartridges and stuff? I can pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to buy them. He has box copies, crisp fresh, of like Mario RPG, Chrono Trigger, stuff like that. And he said, Michael, that's my actual name, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. Whatever.
Breaking kayfabe here, man.
But he said, Michael, you are the only American friend that I have, and the only American friend that I can trust. I want to give you something great. And I was like, oh, just anything like I love culture, so anything small with culture is fine. He's like, no, you don't understand. it's customary here. If we give a gift, we give a very real gift. So one of them was it's like a $6,000. Like, it's the equivalent of a tux times 12 for them.
Tuxedo?
No, it's not an actual tux. It's a very, very well. Yeah, it's very traditional.
That's amazing.
You're only supposed to wear it at your wedding or your second wedding. Otherwise, it's rude. Or he's like, another thing we do is we give each other decorative weapons. And he's like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like this curved dagger that they'll carry up in their front.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, would you like that? I was like, how much is that?
They're allowed to openly carry those.
Yeah.
Samurai times. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, it's like $4,000 or $5,000. I'm like,
the works.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's the thing too, is that you can't insult them. You cannot afford to insult them by saying, I don't want something smaller, because that ain't how culture works.
Of course, and at the same time, you can't put a label on what your value is. If they really care that much, they'll express it in the way they feel appropriate.
This is a huge pro, by the way.
Oh,
Getting to have your show broadcast worldwide. It's not just America.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing, and having your show be the gateway to the culture here versus in a country you may never have expected. And that's the kind of opportunity YouTube offers, and that's why I was a little surprised and taken back by Patreon, because YouTube has great cross traffic. Without YouTube, I wouldn't have been able to start my show, essentially. So yeah, I'm very thankful of the fact that it's global. And I remember one time when I got my interview with Major Nelson, like I walked up to and it was crazy because this was at a time where Microsoft had done fucked up, right? Yeah. And they didn't want to do any interviews with anybody, right? And so I was like, okay. But that's fucking bullshit, because we all need to know what's going on. So when I went to E3, I walked straight up there to... when you go to E3, by the way, if you're going to get into this business, go to E3 with a plan. Just walk into doors, man. Don't let anybody tell you can't be where because you're here for that. And so that's how I got into a lot of open doors and exchange cards and stuff. But she was like, so are you guys, are you with... she saw... Thanks to you guys, actually, I was at the Microsoft booth, and everybody was coming up to me, hey, Joe, what's going on? And so this one PR lady seen all this, she's like, this guy must be popular or something. And so that really helped me, thank you guys. And then, so she asked me, she was like, so are you broadcast media? And, when they ask you that question, it's like, they want to know if you're TV, like legit. And so I said, yes. Yes, I am broadcast. Because I am broadcast worldwide. I was totally legit. I'm not fucking lying. I'm broadcast. And that's the attitude you have to have. So she was like, all right, tell you what, let's try to get something with you. Even though he's not taking interviews, let's get something with you. And, so I keep coming back. I kept coming back because, he was unavailable and stuff. And finally, they let me in. And I go upstairs, and it was like this fancy, fucking caviar and bullshit. I don't know if it's caviar, but they had, drinks and alcohol and shit. And I was like, yeah, I definitely am out of place here. And, I see Major Nelson doing, a Attack of the Show interview, which was weird because Attack of the Show had ended at that time, but they were still doing something. These big ass fucking cameras, and they come in here with this tiny little fucking camera before I even got a camera upgrade. Yeah. And so I felt really weird in the corner. I was just sitting in the corner by myself. But luckily, Major Nelson had recognized me because he came down to Austin one time, and I said something really, really stupid that I wish I could have took back. You often make mistakes when you're doing YouTube. You say stupid things and you grow as a person. I think the thing that I said, if y'all want to know what I said to Major Nelson, I said, man, you don't really look like a gamer. And he goes, really, Joe? What does a gamer look like? And I was like, you're fucking right. And it bothered me for 3 years that I said that to him. So when he saw me again, he was like, hey, Joe. And I was like, Major, I just want to apologize to you what I said, because gamers everybody's a fucking gamer now, and it's just, it's awesome. Because I didn't know if he was a PR guy, but he legitimately does play games. So I got the interview, and it's just because of you guys and the fact that I technically broadcast around the world, that I was afforded that opportunity to ask y'all's questions when they weren't being fucking asked. And that is the greatest opportunity to me, is none of these softball fucking questions. It's our job, our responsibility to represent them at these events. And so that's why I always try to get the harder questions answered.
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, we only have 10 minutes left, so I think we should open the floor to Q&A.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah?
Let's try and make the answers real fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, real quick.
So let's start with the Goomba guy over there.
Yeah!
What is the funniest troll comment or any troll you've ever seen?
Funniest troll comment.
Funniest troll comment? Like, if it's a troll comment, like, I'm not laughing. Because it's vicious.
Yeah, you don't want to glorify the troll comments because then it explodes on your channel. For a long time I thought, I'm doing this show where like we read off troll comments or something. That's kind of a bad idea because you're perpetuating negativity and you're ignoring those who give you really awesome comments. And that's what kills me when I ignore somebody who said something so cool just to focus on this fucking asshole. You know, you can't engage on that. So you just really got to ignore them. But if you want to know, it was the first one that I ever got when I started the Angry Joe Show. You can learn about it at my panel since we were low on time, but it was shave that pubic hair off your upper lip, bitch.
I think my first troll comment was go back to America, Baka Gaijin White Pig. That didn't even contextually make sense.
I don't know if you remember it, but one of the awesome ones that you got was like, maybe these videos would be better if Matt spent less time sculpting his perfect beard.
Like now I don't like give a fuck or whatever, but like a few years ago I was like just in the shower every morning, just like it looks good. And the exact comment I believe was like it would be better if Matt didn't spend his days shaving with diamonds and lasers. That was pretty good. On almost every single one of our videos, it's not negative or anything, but it's just weird and kind of trolling that it never adds anything. There's one guy called Prince Vegeta who writes
Final Flash.
His comment on every video is Final Flash. He's never said anything else. He never says anything.
My favorite one is people with like a fundamental misunderstanding of stuff. So they're like, "Where's the next episode of Wolf Among Us?" And the game's not out yet.
Yeah,
it's not out. Like, what you want?
I recently just got and beat Wolf Among Us. I love it. It's oh my god.
Save me so
I love all the transformations.
But yeah, Liam, that idea of like just
Fundamental misunderstandings are the best.
Princess Peach.
Hello. Do you have any advice for people who want to start doing what you guys do?
Do not ever give up. No matter what people say, no matter what your family says, you're going to find so many damn hurdles trying to make your vision come true. The only one that can shut down your effing show is you. And when that happens, that's when it's dead. You can never, ever say to any of us and anyone that do what we do, that other people shut us down. If you shut down your show, that is your choice. And yes, you have to get a thick skin. Yes, you're going to have to sift through comments. And your first episode of anything you ever do, regardless of how much experience you have, will suck.
Oh boy, will it.
Do not quit.
I was just going to add one more thing on that, is just like, if there's a particular style, like if you want to do Let's Playing or whatever, there's a particular style of game that you enjoy that maybe not, like some people might not enjoy as much as you, like always still do something on your channel, on whatever, that you get satisfaction out of doing. There's popular games that people will like want to see, you can do those too, but always have something that like, kind of breaks away from like the popular thing that you love doing, because it helps like kind of keep you sane.
Well, we always have that situation where certain contractors recommend a bunch of games.
We gonna do Call of Duty?
And we look at the list of the games and we're like, nope, 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 yep, nope, nope.
Let's do this weird Japanese bullshit.
Let's play Sword of Berserk. Oh, Battlefield 4 game? Well, whatever. Let's play
random indie games.
Let's play Mario. Mario.
Stop doing that.
Mario. That's how you pronounce it.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, guys.